Every now and then you come across an idea that you instinctually know is a good idea. And this one checks all the boxes. And when you have that idea, you do what it takes to just execute it. Take the trader's money, which is the most important thing that I'm working on. That doesn't mean it's the most important thing. It means it's the most important thing that I'm working on. Our team is working on TED. TED is at a place right now that it does not need creative oversight. It needs facilitation and execution. So when you're creating a product, you need to have the vision, create the points of it. It's going to do this. It's going to accomplish this, blah, 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 blah. Map it out, flow it, have a certain amount of feedback to reinforce that this is the path you want to go, and then create it. So it's in the build out. So our team is building it out, so I don't need to be doing that. So simultaneously right now, I'm hands-on with Take the Trader's Money, and the team is building out TED. Now, TED works. TED, you can message. That's up and running. TED talks. You can talk to TED. That is up and running. The difficulty with TED talking is two things. One, if you have Apple, I wish I had my chapstick over there. If you have Apple, I have Apple, we're getting duplicate messages. So when I send TED an audio message, TED responds back and then responds back like 5 or 10 times throughout the rest of the day. Not good. Next, TED is going to have vision. And I know that's kind of like a buzzword with us, because I know a lot of times when I talk, this is our vision, and a lot of times it's actually protruded the vernacular of how people speak to me. Ant, I believe in your vision, but, right? So that's not this. We're giving TED vision. That is an OpenAI product. Again, I feel like it's like I shouldn't be saying this, or like, Anthony, you say it so much. But I say it so much because it actually is that important. Like nobody else, not nobody, but like it takes such a small percentage of people that actually have this. The highest level partnership with OpenAI. In fact, OpenAI had shut off. Like you can't get a new account anymore. They're maxed out. So not only do we have an account, but we have the most premier account. So what Vision is it allows TED to respond to images. Now I have demonstrated this before. I showed it to you, the back end of it. I think if you recall, I was able to download a really convoluted sign of like street signs. You could park here on this day, but you can't park on this day. But if you park on this, blah, 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 blah. Like anyone that's been to New York City or like a shore town or an urban area knows what those signs are. And you look at them, you're like, do I need a doctorate to understand what this says? Can I park here or not? Well, you can park here unless the sky is blue, but if it turns green and then has a tint of red, you're enough. So we were able to download the photo and upload it into TED and say, hey, TED, can I park here on Monday, 11 a.m.? And told us exactly. Meaning TED's able to see the photo, the image, dissect it, cognitively understand what each is, and then use the intelligence to then answer the question based on the extrapolations of the identifications of what components are in the picture. So for instance, if I sent Ted a picture of the Eiffel Tower, hey Ted, that's the Eiffel Tower. I don't know where I am in Paris though. Can you please identify the distance, identify the, like, am I north, south, east, or west, and tell me how to get back to Rue à la Pierre, right? Like that sounds like something that would be in Paris. Yes, you're located on, I only know a couple of words in French and they're not the good words. You're on Wee Wee Lane. Even that sounds awful, like we. Okay, you're on Wee Wee Lane. Make a right on Trois, right? Like, so that's the vision. On top of that, Ted's also going to have DALL-E. Now, DALL-E, named after Salvatore Dali, is the image generator of OpenAI. It's now in the 3.0 version. In fact, actually, you know what? We have that hooked up to Rhino Street right now. You know what? Let me see something. Draw me a ultra realistic picture of an Australian mid-20s girl with purple and pink hair sitting at a coffee shop on her Apple computer. Now, for those that recognize that prompt, okay, so this could be better. It doesn't look as ultra realistic as I'd like, but we just generated this. So draw me a cartoon image of a rhino making a lot of money and celebrating with his rhino friends. So cool, right? So these are images, obviously, we just created. I just did it in front of you, right? So that's DALL-E. And again, that's the highest level. That's the 3.0 version from OpenAI. That's going to be in TED as well. Okay. The goal is that these things that I just mentioned will all be in TED by the end of the week. Okay. Which means you can take the phone out and talk to Ted and say, hey, Ted, I'm having difficulty with knowing where I am. I just took a picture. Can you tell me? Or, hey, Ted, I'm making a logo for my company. It has coffee, but it has rhinos and it has Pikachu. Give me some ideas, right? So it can do all of that. You'll be able to do that through voice command, not having to text. Okay. The next step to that is turning those voice commands into an actual phone conversation. So we need to piece that all together and bring it together, because what's kind of obnoxious is that every time I talk to Ted, I have to take my phone out, press and hold the button, speak into it, let go of the button, wait for the message to come in, press download on the message, and then listen to the message. And you'll never hear anyone talk about their own product the way I do, but I'm building it in my likeness, right? I don't find the reason to build something that I wouldn't even use. I want to pick up my phone, my AirPods. Hey, Ted, I got a question. I need you to do this for me. And then I'll look at my phone to see the image, right? So that we hope to be done by the end of next week. Okay. Simultaneously, this call might go a little bit longer, so maybe budget till 11:15. Simultaneously, I'm working on Take the Trader's Money. Now we have 2 members that signed up for this week, going through the process, right? When should we be doing those emails? And I've committed to, well, not committed, but I said I was going to be doing emails at 8 a.m. Then I said I was going to be doing emails at 10 a.m. And then I was like, I'm doing a live call 1 to 2. How about we do the email at 12:30? That way, when you get the email, you open the email, and then the link to the call is in the email, and then you go to the call. In fact, maybe I do the email at 12:45, right? So that we can make sure that the call is has an audience, and that allows us to do more and more, because you can only do things when you have an audience, right? So that email will be 12:30, and now that I'm thinking about it, will actually be 12:45. So the trader on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday tries to buy the pick back from the user, which if you don't know what that means, you don't. And if you do, you do. We're going to have more marketing material that better describes all of that. So I'm not going to take the time to do it now, but imagine Deal or No Deal. Instead of a briefcase, you're doing a stock pick. The stock pick is against the dealer's, the trader's pick, and he tries to buy it back from you rather than seeing it go through to fruition, because he doesn't want to lose, right? So that's the gist of it. The calculations on how to buy that pick back, well, that's important, because if we're overpaying for that pick as per the odds, which is a very, very big algorithm, because you have to know the odds of the pick, know the odds of the pick in respect and context of the market, odds of the pick in respect to all of that, plus the economic data coming in and new releases, times the pick of the trader, times all of that, multiplied together, divided by how much duration time is left, and assign a probability to it, then take that probability and multiply it against their buy-in. And then do the equal and opposites, because not only are you offering to buy it back, but you're also saying, if you want me to buy it back, I'll even offer for you to double and triple, since you're so positive, and make sure that those odds are always fair to the user, but in the trader's best interest, right? The trader's not your friend. The trader's going to treat you fair, but the trader wants to win 51% of the time. Well, 75% of the time overall, but 51% of the time in these dealings. So that the trader knows every time he makes a deal, more times than not, it's going to benefit him. So I know that sounded convoluted, but welcome to my head, right? So that I need to do this week. That goes live tomorrow, so I need to be prepared for that and then test that, see what it looks like. Also, if this is going to be a game show type of atmosphere, we got to do some more game show stuff. Like I did yesterday's call kind of just like this, which is fine, but that doesn't offer the pageantry of an event, right? Can we have some type of strobe lights? Can we? I don't know, but it needs to be more fun. We need to have an area of congregation more. Now, when we do our ads, we're going to be doing them on Twitter. Now, our Twitter feed is the main page for the Take the Traders Money's homepage, which is a membership. Therefore, if you're in that program, once you get to the homepage, you see our entire Twitter feed and it's ebbed in there, so you could type right there. Meaning it would behoove us to do our paid ads on Twitter, therefore knowing that everyone that participates and buys in already has a Twitter. So we're going to be able to really, really grow that process out once we finalize or at least get our product a week in, so we understand what's good, what's bad, what needs to be adjusted. And along doing all of that, we're then going to take that as a case study, do marketing materials over the week, and really kind of step on the gas of populating next week. So for the 2 that are in this week, great. If you remember, we did the first email Sunday evening. It started Monday morning, 9 a.m. Next week, we want to have it being that first email being sent out Thursday evening, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and see what happens. And then repeat. Maybe we'll do a Christmas special. You know, you could do a $100 buy-in for only $75. You know, I don't know. I know that the premise is that I'm at least competent. Like if I start just losing, well, then that's a real problem, especially if someone takes a $10,000 package and beats us and no one else is there to offset it. So there's a lot of pressure that goes with it as well. So we're working on that. But in terms of the offering, it's not gambling because it's not blind luck. You're selecting something cognitively using your brain, and you're selecting it against someone else who's selecting something using intelligence. Therefore, it's a competition. Competition's legal. Gambling needs a license. And even though it's the stock market, so actually, Maurice, the higher the scaling, the better, because then it's laws of probability. I'm much more comfortable with 1,000 people than 2 people, because the whole Take the Traders Money is based on one super duper duper stat that I believe I can outperform 70% of people on average per week. At 70%, the 3 that won get $9. So they each gave $1. They won 3 times their money. They get $9. The 6 that lost their $1. So I have $6 from the ones that lost. I have $3 from the ones that won. But so I have $9. But the ones that won, I need to give them $9. 3 times 3. So effectively, I break even. Oh, I see what you're saying. So I'm going to have to scale that with the algo. So I'm talking right now, and no, really, really good question. This isn't me. That's actually the corollary to it. So I have to do the calculations, but once you identify the equation, then that's automated. In terms of identifying the equation, that's the hard part right now. So once we identify the equation, then it's just, hey, Ted, give me the outcome for these 50 inputs. Boop. Because the trader's input's always going to stay exactly the same. The trader has the same odds regardless. The 50 users have different odds. So we're doing that this week. Thank you for asking. Okay, so it's not gambling, but at the same time, it's stock market related. Everyone is not dependent, but their winning and losing is a direct result of their stock going up or down, but no one's buying stocks. So it's not securities related either. So we don't need a gambling license. We don't need a security license. We're doing a competitive competition. And I looked at the law and I went through it, right? So I know I'm on sound footing. In fact, we have terms of service that you have to check off before you even get into it, which says all this. That being said, we then have the sliver where what percentage of population is interested in stock market, but feels that they lose versus the stock market quite often. Because whatever that percentage is, we're telling them maybe you're losing is based on the fact that you're competing against the whole globe simultaneously. And if you do win, what exactly are you winning? Maybe 10, 20% if you really hit a home run? Well, how about this? Instead of versing the whole world, you're versing one person. And if you win 300%, not 10 or 20%. Are you interested? Is that something you're interested in? Okay, duh, where do I sign up, right? So that makes sense to me. Now it's a matter of complete the product offering and scale the product offering. That's why I love Take the Trader's Money so much, and that's why I'm working on it very, very diligently. Simultaneously to both of those things, we have our patent being worked on. Now our patent, actually, you know what? Let me see something. So I believe this is the search. So patentability search, Rhino friend, personalized AI-driven marketing platform, November 13th. The reason I'm sharing it with you, and it says confidential. Actually, can I share this with? Yeah, because we already did the search and we already got the provisional patent and the non-provisional is already halfway through. So if you decided to take this and then say, let me go do it, I don't think you'd be able to catch up. So I wouldn't have shown you this November 13th, put it that way. Rhino friend, personalized AI-driven marketing platform, integrated holographic companion system with adaptive AI interaction and recommendation engine, digital companion capable of providing personalized communication, emotional support, and hyperlinks to recommended services via a holographic interface that simulates lifelike realness, empathetic interaction, advanced natural language processing, hyper-realistic holographic presence, companionship, and user-focused service recommendations. Database search, Google patent, whatever that is, Google, patent cloud, classes, right? Citations. This is pretty comprehensive. Abstract, embodiment of a method of system for engaging a patient, including receiving a set of user inputs from the patient and an interaction engine associated with companion robot. Look at that. Biographical model for the patient, S120. Like this is medical history of patient. I mean, I've told them to do really, really broad, so obviously this isn't a doctor, but we want that ability. So how about this? And again, I spent hours putting this together. Unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning, suitable learning style, algorithm, logistic regression, stepwise regression, multivariate adaptive regression splines, locally estimated scatter plot smoothing, Bayesian method, for those that don't know, right? Deep learning algorithm, restrictive Boltzmann machine. And like, this is really, really something else. Cognitive journey companion, abstract cognitive journey monitoring are presented. Embodiments comprise journey prediction, parsing of data sources, risk assessments, and mitigation, right? So I guess you get the point, right? I don't need to do too much more of that. That is near completion. So that search we had to do 2 times to make sure that we were exactly where we needed to be. We've been assigned and granted and awarded a provisional patent, and now the non-provisional is almost completed. Why is that so important? I'm actually a little stunned. You know what? Before I even talk about how stunned I am, let me show you something else. So this is what amazes me.
Yeah, I mean, actually, frankly, AI will know you better than your friends know you, most of your friends anyway.
Yeah, and as part of this, it should also feed you advertisements in a way that's like, I mean, I like advertisements that are like well done, right?
Yeah.
The whole point is because it funds things. Like an advertisement that you actually want to see is a big success.
Absolutely. If you want ads that are like advertising that is, if it's for a product or service that you actually need when you need it, it's content. And then even if it's not something that you need when you need it, if it's at least aesthetically pleasing and entertaining, it could be like a Coca-Cola ad, like they actually run a lot of great ads on the X system, and McDonald's does too, and so it's like you can do something that's like, well, this is just a cool thing, So basically the question is, do you regret seeing it or not? And if you don't regret seeing it, it's a win. Yeah, actually, frankly, AI will know you better than your friends know you. Most of your friends anyway.
Yeah, and
So that was Elon on Lex Fridman, which, by the way, I highly suggest. His podcast is one of the best. In fact, I love Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan is kind of like widely known as the best. So we kind of don't even think that there's other ones. If you never heard anything about anything, there's a lot of people that would say Lex is better, including maybe myself on Lex Fridman. And when he said that, now I don't know if you noticed, that's me videotaping my phone, my TV, and then posting it. Because he's describing exactly what TED is. That's exactly what we're trying to do. That's exactly the visions we had. That what if you can have an AI that knows you better than anybody else? It's uniquely responsible to only you. It only knows you. It has a lifetime history that it grows and develops and gets to know you better. And it has access to a whole world of marketing, products, et cetera, et cetera. And when there's a moment that you need something or you don't even know you need it or whatever the thing is, in that moment, can it get it to you? That would be the ideal best marketing ever in the history of the world. That's TED. That's what the goal was in building it. In fact, that idea is so beyond trillions of dollars that it caused me to spend God knows how much money on a patent attorney just to get that patent. And we're almost there. No one has that patent, which is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So I spent God knows how many hours, which you just saw, and I gave you just a little sample of it, making sure that that patent is as broad as possible, that we're able to grab squeeze everything out of the patent office of something somebody doesn't have. When that non-provisional patent is granted and awarded to us, the world changes. It just does. Because what we're actually doing with TED, and as you notice, I'm not sitting here talking about Rhino business anymore. I'm not sitting here talking about, all right, we're going to do this and we're going to make money this way. No, none of that. I want TED to be what Tesla has in the Cybertruck. I want a prototype that's functional. That's it. Because once we have that prototype that's functional with that patent, the world changes. Because then you can go to any company, any Fortune 500 company, and say, hey guys, listen, I have an idea how you can bring your marketing into the next generation. Here's TED. This is what it does, and this is how it can solve marketing for you. In which case, the company would say, okay, you have our attention. Now, what our job in that moment is to create case studies that work, right? So I think back to, and I'm old enough to remember Tamagotchi or Digimon. They were like these little games that you would play and you would play and you would play and you would build up your character and then you would fight other people's characters or whatever. There was some type of social aspect to it, but there was a pride of ownership. Like when you had that thing, you worked at it. How much do companies spend on marketing budgets? Probably a lot. Imagine if you didn't have to spend any of that money because your consumer had TED. Now, TED would be to that company. So say Walmart. And again, before anyone says, oh, you're selling out to the big companies, I'm getting to it, right? So hold that. So Walmart signs on. All right, Ant, we want our own TED. This is the deal we're making with you. You have this many royalties. This is what we're paying you. And these are the equity you still own in it. And this is the creative control, whatever. Like, we're not just giving this away. You're going to have to play by Rhino's rules. Okay. But this is what we want to do with it. In which case Walmart says, all right, what would be really cool is, we have a Christmas TED, right? It's Christmas cheer and everyone that has it gets Christmas jokes or whatever, right? Or they find some value proposition, some shtick, something that's unique to them. All right, Walmart says, if you have our TED, for every day that you talk to TED, you get 50 cents in your account, right? Maybe something like that. For every 100 words you talk to TED about, you get $1. I think this is actually starting to make sense. Because imagine if you were Walmart and you collected that much personal data of an individual. It would be worth as much as you're paying them, right? So again, the idea is forming as we're speaking. There's going to have to be some type of controls, because we're not just giving away that data. That data might have to go through an algorithm, in which case my mother passed away and we always had pizza, which is why I want pizza. Well, I don't need Walmart knowing your mother passed away. This individual is highly prone to liking pizza to 97% certainty, right? Like, we'll get there. The point being, the individual that's on the Walmart TED, what are the recommendations that that individual is going to get? Only Walmart recommendations. Therefore, if you can create a product that the individual loves and the individual is on and the individual has a high usage, i.e. Facebook, i.e. Google, then you control where the individual buys. Now, saying that out loud, controls where the individual buys, sounds very antithesis, right? Antithetical, whatever the word is, to Rhino. And it is, if you're forcing someone to only have something. But like a bar, the Jack Daniels tastes the same everywhere. So it doesn't matter where you get the Jack Daniels, as long as it's like a ubiquitous product. It's just everywhere to go. So if you're on the Walmart TED and the Walmart TED identifies you need to buy toilet paper, then Walmart being the one to sell you the toilet paper, is that against Rhino morals? And I don't think it is, right? Like, everyone sells toilet paper. Okay, take that and extrapolate it out. Every company would then want that. Okay, but Anthony, if every company has it, well, then doesn't it decrease the value per company? Yes. Therefore, each company is going to have to be highly, highly, highly competitive with their offerings. So kind of like, like Digimon and like Pokemon and these games, you never just had one. In fact, Pokemon, gotta catch them all, because each one solves something different. Kind of like a stock portfolio. Your goal in having a stock portfolio, your goal in having an investment portfolio is to make money. Okay, so why do you own 10 different stocks? Why don't you just pick the best stock? Well, because I don't want to put all my risk in one stock. Oh, so there's something to be said about diversification. Well, yeah, I can't predict what's going to happen. I want to have a medical stock. I want to have a consumer durable stock. I want to have an industrial stock. I want to have a technology stock, so that I'm fully participant in the economy as a whole. Okay. So can it be said that an individual will have more than one TED? Yeah, you know what? When I need a product around the home, I got TED, the Walmart one. But when I need this, I have the Target TED. So essentially, what would a person be doing? Instead of, say, following Walmart on Facebook, you kind of just have the Walmart TED. Now, all right, Ann, that doesn't sound very fun, right? Like, so an individual is just going to have these different things for the sole purpose of giving that company their information. Well, if you look at it like that, it doesn't sound fun at all. Well, Anthony, how else would you look at it? Is always marketing to everything. What is the company going to give you, right? So we're thinking of what the current iteration is. Remember, we own the patent. That means the idea could do anything. I'm not going to have the best idea. I'm going to go to Walmart and say, hey, listen, what is your idea? You have a whole marketing department, all these geniuses that you got. Can they come up with something that is grounded in what this patent actually says? Oh my God, yes. We could hook up with Sirius Satellite, and if you make a right, like, we could figure stuff out. Like, that's what they're for. But more so than that, so say, for instance, I like Audible from Amazon. So I listen to books every day. Right now, I'm on Carl Jung's compilation of his life's work. For those that know who Carl Jung is, you're probably like, oh, wow, Ant, you got some stuff going on in your life. You're looking at that deep of psychology. And the answer is yes, right? But that's what I'm listening to. Now, I pay for Audible. I pay, I think, $14.99 a month. It gives me 1 credit so I can download a new book every month, and it offers me my library. What if Walmart, Ted, was like, hey, and everyone that likes Audible, for being a participant on the Walmart TED for, I don't know, 5 hours a month, your Audible subscription's free. Okay, I'll download the Walmart TED right now. Now, again, it sounds like I'm doing them a favor. Well, they're paying me to go ahead and share my info. Remember what TED is. This is an individual that is going to be your lifelong best friend. It knows everything about the entire world. We're thinking about it just as a marketing platform. All right, well, when I need toilet paper, I guess if I'm on the Walmart TED, I'll get toilet paper. No. The sale is based on TED pleasing you, not selling to you. It's intent-based. It's not marketing. No one is selling you toilet paper if you don't need toilet paper. Someone's recommending toilet paper when you actually need toilet paper. Therefore, the rest of the time you're on it, hey, Ted, no, so I'm going to the Jets game this week. I'm in row R7. I don't know where to park. Oh, well, go to G2. That's the best parking garage. In fact, they have this lady, Ivana. She's on all the social media platforms. Everyone loves her. In fact, if you go there and you say, hey, Ivana, what up? She'll give you the best parking spot. Everyone knows. Ted, how do you know this stuff? Because I'm Ted. I know everything. And the Jets, Anthony, seriously, the Jets, why do you like the Jets? Everyone says they're terrible. And now all of a sudden a conversation inspires. 10 minutes into it, 20 minutes into it, wait a second, I'm not even talking to a person. Then a month later, the Jets win a game and Ted automatically texts me, hey, remember that Jets game with Ivana? She's there again, and now she's in better spirits. Take a look at her last Facebook post. Oh, I just made that up on the fly this second. Take that, extrapolate it to the minds of the marketers across the entire universe, and you'll realize that the patent is simply fertilizer. It is fertilizer in a field that we own. So we're saying to you, hey, you guys got seeds. You want to plant over here? Because this fertilizer is really good. Oh, you do? Cool. Whew, got a headache talking about that. The point being, our focus with TED now is creating a prototype. And when we get to the markers I just shared with you, where all of the tasks that I just said are completed, the ability to talk is completed, my neighbor, and all of that is completed, then we have what we can bring to do these type of meetings. Now, these meetings allow us resources we don't have. It allows us endless money. It allows us endless access to the best and brightest marketing departments, this department. Like it gives us access and power, because now we effectively own the next generation marketing platform. You see, Facebook owns Facebook. Google owns Google. They don't own ads. They don't own what an ad is. They all participate in ads. This is actually owning the marketing platform. So that's why I really feel like we stepped in something far larger than we ever thought, which is why, at least, sometimes I like to pat myself on the back, where you're smart enough to know, go get that patent right now. Get it now. To the point of how that translates to everyone on the call, once everyone knows anything with Rhino, which is everything, because again, my net worth is Rhino. Let's make that very straight. I don't get a salary. I don't get anything. I own 50 million Rhino, which is 5% of the outstanding share of Rhino. And I own, I believe, like 40, actually, I don't even think I own that. I think I own like 38% equity in my own company. My company owns 100 million Rhino, which means I own 38 million Rhino there. So collectively, I own 88 million Rhino, which is, I don't know, 8% of all the Rhino that will ever exist. And I think that's fair, right? Meaning everything always goes to Rhino Bucks. So when these deals are done, when the money comes in, when all of this happens, Rhino, Rhino, Rhino. So right now, what are we doing? We're buying 500 a day, right? Oh, good job, Ant, 500 a day, cool. What does that look like when you have residuals of millions of dollars a week, right? Like, what does that look like? Because if you could see that, then would you be able to travel back in time and say, oh my God, I remember when that thing was like $2. Now it's like 41,000. Like what? Because unlike Bitcoin, where someone could say that, people are going to, well, I'm going to judge you, right? Because I'm going to say, I was live every day. I sat there and told you every step of the way. In fact, you knew it before it happened, which is what makes this fun. So that's the thought process and business plan of TED. Take the Trader's Money will be a weekly residual. Hopefully we're profitable, right? I don't want to be losing money with that, but that's something that's going to grow and scale because that can be offered to anyone that ever liked finance. Now, also, don't you think Ted's going to recommend Take the Trader's Money? I don't know. It's our platform. We're going to put that in TED. So that's another thing that's quite cool. So as we grow, and God forbid we get any of these partnerships, we have the right to make sure our stuff stays in it. So that's when I go back into the Rolodex and go to the memory bank and I say, okay, these are the rhinos that have been there since day one. These are the rhinos that have a business. They have this, they have that. And when we make these partnerships, I say, not only are you keeping my companies in there, but this list of 10, 20, 30, 100, whatever the number may be, you can make sure that's quality controlled, right? Like you want to make sure that everyone on your platform, your Walmart, you want to make sure that the product's good. I get that, but they stay on, which means you have to call them and work with them to make their product at your level and for free, and they're staying on forever. So you start seeing the possibilities going forward. That's Take the Trader's Money, that's TED, that's Rhino Bucks, that's where we are, that's what we're trying to do, and that's the future, right? So that's, in a nutshell, that's what I'm working on. And so to the person that I was talking about before this call, or before I said all that, there was 10 bullet points. I feel like I only got to bullet point 5. I don't remember what the other bullet points were. But I think that encompasses all. So I'm 18 minutes over, which is actually funny because I was 17 minutes late yesterday, but then I was 30 minutes not there. So I guess I'm still 12 minutes behind. So I'm gonna run. I think that's good foundational. And then I'll try to do 12 minutes more tomorrow. Also, so this is something I'm not happy that I'm thinking this, but I don't know if I'm happy or not. I just know that there's core DNA of Rhino, and this is kind of touching it. I'm thinking about doing 1 call a week, but I can't bring myself to do it. So I'm not. But I'm sharing out loud that I'm thinking that thought is coming across my mind. Now, of course, that thought is dependent on a lot of other things. Like I'm in 2 superior courts, 1 municipal, and now 1 appellate, representing myself as pro se against 2 different law teams and now a superior court judge, right? So my time is so, when I wake up at 3:40 in the morning like I did today, I'm behind. Like I don't know if that makes sense. I'm behind on my day because I started working late at 3:40 a.m. And that's not an excuse, that's nothing. But I think the reason that thought is crossing my mind is because I'm seeing that how much that time is worth right now. I don't think I'm going to make that decision though, because I've always committed to, and it's part of the DNA of Rhino, that we're always going to be live every day because everyone needs to always know where it's going. So I'm just saying that out loud because I'm thinking out loud. And also I want to hear to myself what it sounds like. So I'm not going to do it, but I just want to say that that is a thought. All right, so that's that. So love you all. Welcome back, Abdul. And I see everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I will see you tomorrow, 10:30. All right, bye.